Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, with some big news here that is going to make liberals very uncomfortable, but conservatives as well, because there's a narrative coming out of Florida in the courtroom with Eileen Cannon and Jack Smith that just isn't quite true for either side. So do me a favor, though, if you would. If you're new, please do subscribe. We have a lot of fun over here, so hit that little subscribe button and that little bell, and that'll get you notified when we bring out more news. But out of Newsweek, Eileen Cannon's surprising record of siding with Jack Smith. Now, the reason this is so wild is because the left is always screaming about Judge Cannon. And here she is actually, and I've seen this, she sides with Jack Smith actually quite a bit. And then the right thinks that she's always on their side. She's not. I actually think she's a good judge. She's just trying to get to the bottom of things. Judge Eileen Cannon has a surprising record of ruling in special counsel Jack Smith's favor, a Newsweek analysis shows. A review of Cannon's rulings reveals that she has been more likely to side with the Justice Department on disputes between the prosecution and the defense, but that she has also ruled in ways that benefited Donald Trump's legal team. Cannon, a Trump appointee, has faced fierce criticism over her handling of his classified documents case. So many conservatives wanted her to just toss the case. I don't think that would have been the best thing, actually, because it should be tried in front of a fairer or more impartial judge. Otherwise, it gets kicked down the road. They appeal and so on. The U.S. District Court judge has drawn scrutiny over several decisions that legal experts say cast doubt on her impartiality and even faced several calls to recuse herself from the criminal case. Those have typically been from the left. Trump is facing 40 felony counts related to his alleged mishandling of the classified and top secret documents after leaving the White House. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges and maintains that his case is politically motivated. Okay, we don't have to be a rocket science to figure out that Jack Smith is a political hack, Merrick Garland is a political hack, and they are operating at the behest of Joe Biden, and actually not even Joe Biden's regime, because Joe Biden wasn't running anything because he can't even complete a sentence. Out of the 16 times that Smith and Trump asked Cannon for different rulings, Cannon issued orders in favor of Smith 11 times and Trump only 5. This so runs counter to the mainstream narrative that's out there right now, people, where Judge Eileen Cannon is this terrible hack judge who just is in love with Donald Trump. That's not true. Of the 16 times that Smith and Trump asked Cannon for different rulings, Cannon issued orders in favor of Smith 11 times and Trump only 5. But the judges also issued 9 orders that gave the former president reason to celebrate, including 2 that paused filing deadlines and 1 that granted his attorneys an extension to reply to their own filing. I'm going to give you a couple other headlines just so you can see how skewed this gets at times before I get into the rest of the article. The other thing I want to mention here is that, right now, she is not willing for Jack Smith to be able to cover up all the information and redact these documents and not allow them to be in the public record. And that's what's really setting him over the edge. And you have to ask the question, why? But here's some other headlines. Why Jack Smith is in a lose-lose battle with Eileen Cannon. Eileen Cannon chides Jack Smith's failure in new court ruling. Jack Smith's next move, Eileen Cannon's order lays into Jack Smith's inadequate plea. She is coming out and creating headlines when she rules against Jack Smith, and then the left is saying, oh my gosh, he's in a lose-lose battle. Because delaying the trial has been one of Trump's top legal strategies, those 3 orders were all welcome news to Trump. There was similarly good news for the former president this past November when Cannon denied Smith's request to set a deadline for the defense to disclose what information it intends to use at trial. Okay? On Wednesday, the judge gave another sign that Smith won't be getting his proposed July 8th trial date. She set a deadline for Trump to reveal which of the files he plans to use in his defense just 7 weeks before Smith's date for the trial. Cannon has also issued 2 scathing orders, including one that criticized Smith's expedient reading of the law and another that ruled the special counsel's arguments lack merit. Praise God she brought that up, because we were consistently told after 2020 that our cases lack merit or standing, where Jack Smith's case actually does lack these things. And she issued a 3rd order that denied Smith's motion to keep the proposed jury questionnaire sealed. One thing you will notice about this case in Jack Smith is he wants everything sealed, everything hidden from the public eye. Again, ask yourself why. Accusations of bias in favor of Trump came early after she issued one of her first orders in the Florida case when she denied last June the Justice Department's request to keep its 84 witnesses a secret. Again, constantly everything cover up. And one of the things you will realize in this case is Jack Smith bailed on which charge? Write that in the comments below if you know it. I'll give it to you here. But what charge do you think that he bailed on? And that was the insurrection charge, because even he knew he couldn't get that conviction. Those criticisms grew last October after she agreed to allow confidential records to be placed in a Florida facility, despite Smith's arguments that some of those documents should be kept in a secure facility in Washington, D.C. Trump's team did not request that the records be moved. In addition, Cannon has outright sided with Trump in a number of legal battles. She has twice granted Trump's request to have several court filings unsealed. And in January, she denied Smith's motion to compel Trump to reveal if he would use an advice of counsel defense in the trial. She also granted a hearing on Trump's request to dismiss the charges under the Presidential Records Act in March, even though Smith urged her to reject those claims. But she has also delivered several wins for the prosecution. She rejected Trump's demand to postpone the trial until after the election in November order, his efforts to push pre-trial deadlines in a February order, and his attempt to review sensitive court filings in a separate order later that month. Cannon also denied Trump's efforts to file consolidated briefs after Smith had complained that it was a relentless and misleading ploy by Trump to delay the trial at any cost. In December, she approved Smith's request to move forward with the jury questionnaire, which the Justice Department has argued will help expedite the jury screening process. Most critical, however, are the two orders Cannon issued that rejected Trump's efforts to have the criminal charges dismissed against him entirely. In March, she denied the former president's motion to dismiss the charges because of unconstitutional vagueness, finding that while Trump's argument warranted serious consideration, she did not want to prematurely decide the issues raised. Trump's lawyers could still raise these arguments later because Cannon dismissed them without prejudice. Earlier this month, Cannon rejected Trump's other motion to dismiss, which argued that the Presidential Records Act protects him from prosecution. But even as she allowed the case to move forward, finding the charges and questions don't rely on the PRA, the judge wrote harshly about Smith, calling his demands unprecedented and unjust. I did a video on that back then, but unprecedented and unjust, that's a big... I mean, she has continually, I believe, been fair. This is the judge I want this case in front of. Okay, she is looking at this and saying, wait, I'm not going to just dismiss this based upon this. We're going to hear this. But look at all these wins for the prosecution. But the left continues to treat this judge like she's some spawn of Satan, totally biased and without impartiality. And that's simply not true. Judge Eileen Cannon, I believe, is doing a good job down there. We're going to see how that ruling comes out. But I believe Trump had the right to declassify. And you know what? I mean, when you look at Biden, when you look at Pence and these other documents, cases, Obama, in fact, this is ridiculous. Folks, take a moment, though, and call 1-800-568-2865 for MyPillow.com. The extravaganza sale is still going on. The best deals I have ever seen on the MyPillow site. You can also go to MyPillow.com/lumberjack and get those great deals. Right now, whether it's kitchen towels, bath towels, those bath towels are amazing. Okay, they dry. It's the only towel I'll use anymore, okay? We have other towels still sitting around this house. I want nothing to do with them. Go get yourself some of those MyPillow towels. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.